So it's a bit of a different looking grid for what we saw at the end of qualifying. Like I said, Anton Di Pasquale has been put rear of field for using the wrong tyres at the start of the session. Also, Josh Smith will start from the back of the field too. He come in underweight after qualifying. So Jack Smith and Tom Randall, who now gets a front row start on debut in the Sky Sands Falcon, starts alongside him. Greenbury and Seaton off the second row. Jordan Boys and Michael Anderson on row number 3. We won't see the McCorkindale car out there. Policina will start on that row. Jason Heck and Michael Kane starting from 10. Back to the two Chris's, Smurden and Delsma off the 6th row. Nandy Kiss his debut, and Brad Neal in the Heritage Class car towards the back there. Smith and Di Pasquale, two guys to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Di Pasquale, I think he's going to come screaming through the field, I think. He's got 13 laps, so I reckon he's good for, if he gets a good start, I reckon he's good for the pace that he's got. He's probably good for a top 3 if he can pull it all off early. Trouble is, there's going to be a few guys that aren't going to be expecting that, so I hope he doesn't get caught up in any carnage. It will spice up the race for us in the commentary box and for the viewers at home here today on Fox Sports as we sit on board with car number 5 right now of Jason Heck. Tyler Greenbury for Eggleston Motorsport this year. Let's see how he goes in this race. Back a couple of positions at the back of the field there, though. Anton Di Pasquale and Josh Smith. It's round 3 of this year's V8 Touring Car Series. They've been on 2 of our Virgin Australia Supercar Championship bills. The final time from this year with us. And we wait for the lights to go out, and now they do. Jack Smith and Thomas Randall get away. I think Smith's got the better start. It was a good start, too, for Michael Anderson back there in the Kenwood Homes Falcon. But Jack Smith will lead us down into turn number 1. There's boys on the outside of Greenbury. Really, you'll get it done there. Yeah, pretty tidy start so far. It's interesting, all the different ages of these cars, how they actually have their, they have a line lock that actually holds brake pressure. Some of them wouldn't have that, and others would. So Randall's looking really racy at the moment. It's a great turned out car. And challenging for the lead on the outside. Jack Smith, these tyres aren't up the temperature at the moment. That was evident through the second term. Tries to switch back. We're on board with Tyler Greenbury, sitting back to see what these two play out. Great to have Tom Randall in the field. I'm excited to see this young guy behind the wheel of car number 9. He sort of half left the door open there for Greenbury. I thought, get it in there if you're going to do it, and he has. So great job, Tyler. Up to second, Aaron Seaton looking to go down the inside too. They make contact there at turn number 5, and Jordan Boys in the Image Racing Falcon goes side by side now. Nowhere to go. Michael Anderson's in the mix. It's lap 1. Yeah, Seaton's right on the outside there, so good driving though so far. The guys have, I expected to see one in the gravel trap there, but great driving. 3 wide on the entry to turn 6. Rarely do you see that at Queensland Raceway. And they continue to fight on, but Jack Smith has got a handy margin here to Tyler Greenbury already. Anton Di Pasquale is up to 7th place already from the back of the field, and challenging now for Michael Kane as he dips down the inside in the Jersey Mike's number 67 Falcon. Well, I said at the start I was tipping him for a top 3, and I reckon he's going to go for it. He's got the miles from Super 2 Series, which he was in the podium at Townsville, of course. So he's on a good roll, and obviously he's familiar with that car being the car that he drove in the Dev Series last year. Exactly. Kane now leaves the door open to allow Michael Anderson come through. Surprise pole sitter and a guy with a lot of speed aboard the Kenwood Homes entry from Bathurst. That's Boys and Randall. Challenge down here to turn number 4. So Smith, it's about 1.4 seconds. Sorry, this is going to be a scrap that'll go all race long. Someone was going off in the background of that shot. It's through they come. You can hear these tyres protesting through the corners. Well, Di Pasquale got into the back of Seaton there. He sort of half did the move, and he's on the outside. So, look, that's reset itself. He's on the outside run at the moment, but Seaton's not going to give him an inch going into turn 1, but he's just cleared him. So that's pretty impressive. It's the longest pass going on though. That started back at turn 5 and went on for about 900 metres. He moves himself up another position now inside the top 5 from the back of the field, and a lot of racing laps still ahead of him. Jack Smith is rubbing his hands together at the moment because he's going, you guys battle it out and I'll press on and put a very big gap on, which he's doing. He's doing a great job at the moment. Replay at the start there. That was that's Jim Policino, my apologies, lighting up the bags in car number 7. Teammate to Michael Kane, who was right behind him, a couple of ex-Tasman cars from the Sprint Gas era. Kane actually went down the inside of him there. Fairly even from the front 2 guys there too. They're not easy cars to get off the line, are they? Well, Tom Randall hasn't got enough, he hasn't got much experience in these cars to get it off the line. He did a pretty good job. Jack Smith's obviously got a lot more time in the seat, so he got off the line. And so same goes for Greenbury as well. He had a good start.
He tested that car a fortnight ago when Rusty French purchased it, next PRA car. This was down the inside at turn number 4. I thought he was almost gone. It was Anderson. He didn't go off the track in the end, but as close as you like, down at turn number 4. And it was Josh Smith also in the mix there. He's 10th now at the starting rear of the field. And again, it continues on with the two teammates. The pole performance teammates going side by side here as they complete lap number 3. And Anderson just sniffing around the back of this group now. Battle for 8th, 9th and 10th. Uh-oh, he's going wide here. It just gets it on the curb. It'll drop 2 positions, maybe 3.
Great job to keep it on the track. I thought it was off for sure.
That was seriously out of control. And now Anderson slides his way around, and that hole on the outside just continues to get deeper and deeper. The exit of turn number 2. We go back to Jordan Boys, Tom Randall, and Anton De Pasquale, 5th position, challenging for 4th right now.
Yeah, he's come through very quickly. He got a great start from the back of the field, and he'll be kicking himself a little bit with that, I guess, that problem with the tyres in qualifying. So great decisive move up the inside of Randall there. So he's got his sights set on a top 3, maybe the win. Let's see if he can do it.
So he moves up another position now. Jack Smith is about to break the lap record for the 2nd lap in succession. It's 2.5 seconds now as he exits turn number 6. Tyler Greenbury doing the chasing. Jordan Boys is 3rd, and now Anton De Pasquale does the chasing on car number 49. Everywhere you look, there's action here. In the V8 Touring Car Series, it's race number 1. We're almost halfway home.
Well, Pasquale at the moment is, he's basically about half a second quicker than the guy in front. So he's got Boys in front, and he's going to see if he can chase him down.
Been really impressed with Jordan Boys this year. He's another one of many rookies we've got in the field here. Race winner earlier this year. He's one of the many talented kids coming out of karts and Formula Ford. Doing a great job up there in 3rd position. De Pasquale still 4th. Randall in 5th. Thanks to this battle pack now of Anderson, Smith and Chris Smurden, who's been around since the inception of this class some 10 years ago. A bit rude there by Josh Smith on the inside of Jim Policina. And there is Smurden in the ex-Stone Brothers car. The Irwin Tools livery back there. The former privateer from back in the Australian Touring Car Championship days from Adelaide. Here comes Jack Smith. He's got confidence in this car, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and this car is obviously being turned out very well at the moment. I think Brad Jones Racing are preparing this car for him, and look, to see Tim Slade where he is, and obviously the success they've had in the Super 2 series and then flowing on into the V8 touring cars. Good move up the inside. Set
him up nicely, didn't he? Got the pass done halfway down the straight, and now De Pasquale's up to 3rd. 6 seconds with 8 laps to go. The charge, it'll get tougher from this point for him though, won't it?
Yeah, well, let's see what he can do in clean air.
Oh, Smurden off the track, and that's turn number 1. Deep gravel traps here at Queensland Raceway, and it almost pulled him off the racetrack completely. And car 39 tried the move down the inside and had too much speed, got a tap on the way through. Might be some guard rubbing there too for the 7 car later in the race.
It's not often one at turn 1 that you actually get a chance, unless you've got a very good run on the person in front of you or a good run out of turn 6. You can actually have that deep dive up the inside into turn 1. It's usually going into the corners of turn 3, turn 4, and then obviously into turn 6.
Really needs to get done. Here's Smith on the exit. Clean road ahead of him in front of this big crowd here today at Queensland Raceway. Still lots of racing to come this afternoon. Of course, the 39-lap race in the Virgin Australia Supercars Championship, race 15 of this year's series. Here's Greenbury losing touch. It was a 1:11 last lap around. Let's go for a ride with the former karting star. Take us for a lap.
Yeah, he's going into turn 2 here, and having a chat with him, I said, your car looks, he's look at the sponsor edge. I said, your car looks pretty edgy there to drive. And what I meant by that is you could see the inputs that he had on the wheel, so it looks a lot smoother now. He goes into turn 3, just takes that pressure off the brake, down on the throttle, nice and smooth. You've got to make sure you don't get any wheel spin. You see the shift lights going where they stage up and go red. As soon as they hit the red, he's on the next gear up. Turn it in, you have to be patient mid-corner at 4. Squeeze on the throttle. 3rd gear. 4th gear on the exit. He's nice and patient on that downshift. You don't want to rush that shift on the way down because you're going effectively from 5th gear back to 2nd. He has a bit of a look in the mirror. Not need worry about that. He's just got our eyes forward. Car's riding the bump pretty well at turn 1. That bump's getting worse there. We've been talking about that. It's riding it well, so it looks like it's behaving itself compared to qualifying.
He has taken your advice then.
I don't know about my advice. I think the team's tuned the car up a bit.
Smith locking the brake on the outside of Anderson there. Eagle Eyes might have picked up the little tap of the brakes halfway down the straight. How crucial is that in one of these cars on the way down to a turn? Well,
when you see the car just go over the strips on the outside, so the ripple strip there has its little rumbles there, and that can just give the brakes a bit of knock-off, which means that you need to push the brake, the pads effectively out to the rotor. If you don't do that, you have a longer brake pedal, and what it tends to do when you get a longer brake pedal is actually lock the rear brakes.
It's not just for the look effect down there, making sure the pads lock on. Uh-oh, there's Jason Heck and Chris Smurden carving his way back through the field in car 39. It'll put him now up into 9th spot down the inside here at turn 4. Oh, that good work. There's that curse following me back into commentary. Off the track he goes again. These guys are having a red-hot battle here. They don't mind unloading each other under brakes. Now Jason Heck, who returns, he actually didn't get past the 3rd turn in this race last year, and that was the last time we saw the ex-FPR car, the GT Cobra livery, some 10 years ago. Great to have him back in the field. The JCH Electrical entry. Chasing down the main straight now of Michael Caine, having one of his best runs in the V8 Touring Car Series in the recent past. Well, we know what that dint in the bonnet was from. Yeah. It's Heck, so this is the move down at turn number 3. And we come on board just after this, and Caine just having a bite at the back of the so that's what happened there. So this opened up to be a 3-car scrap. And it wouldn't have rattled Smurden too much. He's done this all before. By the time he got down to here, he's probably looking in the mirrors a little bit too longer than he had to, seeing where these two guys were, and locked the brakes on the left-hand side and went off the track. And Heck almost got 2 for the price of 1. Yeah. Caine did come from a fair way back to hit Smurden then, so he outbraked himself. And somehow they've all pulled it off without doing any damage to each other. Just made sure Smurden was off the track down the end. He was on the absolute edge. We've seen so many cars lock the rears this weekend. It's a common place to do it. He did get the raw end of the deal there, Smurden. He got sort of pushed and unloaded. He just had it pulled up enough, but that helped him off the track, and I don't know if he's going to catch these guys ahead of him now. It's your inaugural series winner back in 2008. Picked up 8 race wins that year out of the 12 that were on hand, and now finds himself back in 12th position. Meantime, it's out to 4.8 seconds now between Jack Smith and Tyler Greenbury. 4 cars under the previous lap record. Di Pasquale is 3rd, some 3 seconds behind Tyler Greenbury though, so running out of time. Yeah, I don't know. Tyler's actually doing pretty much the same time as Anton Di Pasquale there, so I think unless there's a mistake made, yeah. I did pick it for Anton to be in the top 3, so he's done very well to get through to that with 4 laps remaining. Down to turn 3 again. Cars running wide. That V-shaped approach you talked about. And right out there. Remember years ago they used to have that big curve there? Yeah, it's it claimed 2 in the same weekend, unfortunately. Remember Cam McLean had that massive one in the Porsche, and then obviously Jason Richards, of course. So they soon smoothed that curve out. It was there for a long, long time before it claimed its last car. Jason Heck continuing on here in this race, back in 12th position. Smurden back ahead now in the Irwin Tools car. 2 laps to go for our leader going past the start-finish line now. 2 more races to come, and you've got to start thinking about tyres with a bigger race coming up tomorrow afternoon of 18 laps. Yeah, for sure. So Jack Smith, he's obviously got a very handy lead at the moment. You definitely don't want to be having any big slides with that tyre, because that's taking all the rubber, but all the goodness and grip out of the tyre when you do that, because it's overheating the tyre. Andy Kiss just running wide there, the right to drive entry. Car number 36, ex-Paul Morris Motorsport. V.E. Holden returning to Motorsport. Just took some time out to concentrate on the business. Runs Marbo Smash Repairs down in New South Wales. Saw him in the youth for many, many years. He had a stint in the development series back in 2012 and blocking the front right, going into there. Easy to do. It's a lot bumpy, as you explained this morning in qualifying on the entry point now. 2 significant bumps.
Yeah, it is, and that's over time. That tends to happen. Obviously, this track hasn't been... It did get resurfaced, of course, but, you know, the more and more racing that occurs on it, just like any road, it starts to then, those little bumps start to sink in again.
So Bradley Neal getting the blue flag, running the only heritage class car here this weekend. Next, Truckee Parsons, 55 Holden, originally from the Perkins Motorsport stable. As we didn't see John McCorkindale start this race out with a broken engine. Hopefully we'll see him back for race number 2 tomorrow. Down to turn number 4 now. Smith, a lonely old race, but 5.5 seconds. Back to Tyler Greenbury. That's the gap back to the Edge Designer Homes entry. To running the Ford last year. Last minute deal to run for Eggleston Motorsport. We've campaigned some pretty big names over the past few years. Former champions in the V8 Touring Car Series. Here's Anton De Pasquale, 3rd place, and about 2 seconds now behind Tyler Greenbury.
He's pushing on with it. Tyler definitely would not want to get in his mirrors. The big thing, though, he wants to make sure he clears any lap traffic.
That's Bradley Neal, who's ahead of him. De Pasquale be hoping that Neal doesn't move across. In fact, he goes off the track. And that will just about end the chance for De Pasquale to get second. And Jack Smith sets sail for home here. The SCT Logistics Holden heading down to turn number 3 for the final time.
That car just looks so well planted under brakes. It's not rolling around too much, so the guys at BJR have set that car up very nicely, and of course Jack Smith's driving it very well.
Had a big year last year contesting the Australian Formula 4 Championship. Some stints in the Australian GT Championship in the Trophy Series for Mark Cars Australia. It swings around the final left-hander. We have a little glance in the mirror here. I've got this pretty much under control. There's 1 turn to go. Hasn't moved on the last lap here. It's still 5 seconds between he and Greenbury. Pole position at Winton. He picked up 2 race wins there in race 1 and race 3. He gets pole position and race 1 here for Jack Smith in the SCT Logistics Holden, and does it nicely here in race number 1. Greenbury will get home for second. De Pasquale from the back of the field up to 3rd, and just run out of laps in the end there. Jordan Boys will hold down 4th. Tom Randall in his debut dropped from 2nd back to 5th, but he's got a race under his belt now. Yeah,
absolutely. You see him actually coming out of turn 6, the last corner, and the rear end of the car was moving around on him, so maybe they got an adjustment to try and get some longevity out of the tyre during a race. So these guys, they're still on it.
Right to the finish line. Who's going to get it? I'll give it to Kane by a car length, but certainly some feeling between those two all race long.
Absolutely. They better get a couple of security guards and officials down to Parc Ferme there. These guys are probably going to have some words at the end of the race. They battle hard, but Spurton did well to catch him and get back, so full credit to him there. Yeah, nice work. Probably well deserved that.
So that's old school.
Yeah,
that's the privateer stuff, Dave.
Yeah, that's right. It's yeah. We'll let the officials deal with that. I think that was deserved, so Smurton, yeah, good move to get him over the line.
Hard training you to be a commentator standing on the fence like that. Smith from Greenbury, 5 seconds down the road. De Pasquale, 3rd place for Heath. Jordan Boys in 4th. Randall, Seaton, Smith, Anderson, Policina, and Michael Kane for the hardest fought 10th place you'll ever see. Chris Merton, 11th. Jason Heck was next. Dandy Kiss, Chris Delsma, back to Bradley Neal, who went a lap down.